hey, listen, the Lord said you need to get up off that job. And I was like, I just knew that I had passion and I had visions of designs in my head, and I would try to sketch them out as to my best ability. And I was encouraged for a couple weeks. Then I got back discouraged, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't think I could do it. The natural side told me that it does not make sense to leave a job that you, one, have favor on, that you, two, it's paying the bills, it's working. Why mess up something that's working? And not only is it working, not only do you have favor on it, but you're being promoted. Every time you turn around, there's no reason to leave. Why would you leave? It has a 401k. It has health benefits. And then you ain't got a degree. What are you doing?
Grace and peace. It's another day above ground. Listen, welcome to another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast, where I am your host, Randy. And this podcast is centered around targeting new and aspiring entrepreneurs, rather encouraging them and empowering them. Those of you that are working a 9 to 5 that want to transition over to entrepreneurship. Maybe you have an idea. Maybe you have a God-given gift. Maybe you have a passion. Maybe you have a skill set. Listen, this podcast is specifically tailored around that person. If you are working a 9 to 5, this podcast is for you. If you have a dream and you want to monetize that dream, this podcast is for you. And today is nothing short of an amazing podcast episode. I have a splendid guest that I'm getting ready to bring on to share with you. She is literally living out what this podcast is centered around. She just quit her job to pursue her dream. And I'm not even going to do it justice like I do with every podcast. I want her to introduce herself. There she go.
Hello.
The one and only. But I want you to fully introduce yourself. Because I'm excited for this podcast.
I am super excited, you guys. So my name is Annette Latchison-Eads. Currently, right now, I am a 36-year-old, soon to be 37. But if you ask me certain days, I may be just 30. But technically, I am 36 years old. I am a married mother of 2 boys, 8 and 9, one in which is on the autism spectrum. And I highlight that in a positive manner because it's just a means to let you know that my life is busy and hectic, and anyone who is dealing with children on with any kind of disability knows that requires more from you as a parent. So my youngest is on the autism spectrum. I am currently newly, as of about 3 months, transitioned from my regular 9 to 5 job. I was working for the government, for the Department of Defense here in Dallas, Texas. I live in Dallas, Texas. Born and raised in Flint, Michigan, though.
Let's go.
From Flint, Michigan, born and raised, baby. But I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm newly transitioned as of 3 months from my 9 to 5 job. I transitioned in obedience to the Lord for this new entrepreneurship journey. So short, that's who I am. I got to give a shout out to my husband. So I am married 10 years, almost 11 years. As of December 1st, it'll be 11 years married to my awesome husband, Cameron DeLon Eads. So
Shout out to him, man. We go way back. Way back. Listen, man, me and Annette, we've been knowing each other for a long time. We're actually family. We're actually family. Not just saying that, no, we're actually family. My mother, those of you that may not know, and those of you may know, I was adopted at birth, and so my mother was the reason her mother and her father got together. Mm-hmm. So she played matchmaker. So as you know, that we're cousins, and so I wasn't gonna put that out there, but
you gotta let them know.
I got to put it out there.
You gotta let them know.
I gotta
in the case
put
that
it
you
out
start
there. I gotta
acting
let
up.
people know. I
Yes,
gotta let the
in the
people
case you
know.
start acting up, but we got to be, they'll be like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we family. So that's why the interaction may be a little bit.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So Annette, listen, those that may not know you, although you just introduced yourself, take us back before this whole fashion passion, this fashion passion. You like I like the way I
That
said
was
that,
good. That was good.
like the way I put that together. Fashion passion came together. What were you doing before this whole thing came about?
Okay, so to take us back a little bit, I jotted down a couple of notes that I found kind of be important to highlight because my story is a bit of the unusual. I have not went to design school. Just to take you back, high school, I wasn't an awesome scholar. I wasn't this gifted, talented. Oh my gosh, we need to put her in another grade. No, I was in school, and I can't even say that I did what I was supposed to do. No, I was just in school and made it by. But I've always, even in high school, I was in high school when I should have been doing my work, jotting and sketching and ideas, and I would have this book full of sketches of stuff that I wanted to do. I did not sew at that point. I come from a very crafty family. I do have family members that, you know, did have a career and went to school for design and did sew, but I did not sew. I knew how to do that basic sew. I knew how to stitch, hand stitch. I
Yep.
knew to sew you on a button. I could probably fix a hem or two, but it was hand stitching. It was nothing serious, nothing major, and it was nothing done on a regular basis. I just knew that I had this passion and I had visions of designs in my head, and I would try to sketch them out as to my best ability. And I ain't never been no wonderful person to draw either. So it was just rough sketches. But I was proud of my little rough sketches. But anyway, so I made it through high school. After I made it through high school, I was like, what am I going to do? I wanted to go to school for fashion design, but I was like, that ain't going to happen money wise. How can that happen? I'm like, I quickly erased that because I knew that wasn't something that I could actually follow through. And then in my mind too, I was like, I didn't really know the details of design and fashion. I'm like, well, I don't even sew. How am I going to go to school for design? I don't even sew. So I dismissed that quickly. I went to school straight out of high school. I went to cosmetology school for a little bit. I did not complete it. Y'all listen to my stick with me. Stick with me. God go bless y'all. I did not complete it for a few reasons. So I started it, didn't complete it, did a couple of things, moved here, moved there. I got married. My children were very young. I think my youngest was about 7 years old, and I had another baby who was like 1 year old. And I decided I wanted to go to medical for medical coding and billing. I did go to school for medical coding, billing, and administration, and I completed my certification in that. I never worked in that field. Just stick with me. I know it's crazy. I completed it. I did it. And I was excited because it was something that I want. Once again, it was something I wanted to do. And I did it. I completed it. So I'm like, yes. So other opportunities came. So I never actually worked in that field, y'all, but I'm certified in it. Okay. Don't ask me to do nothing for you. I can't code nothing for you, but I'm certified in it. But I went to school for that. 2018, and I was in school in Flint, Michigan. I went to school for that and graduated. And 2018, we moved to Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And by this time, my babies were 3 and 4 years old. I had partially decided I was going to do something for myself when my baby was 1. And I bought the sewing machine. I had the sewing machine for 4 years. 4 years in Flint before we moved, and never got on it. It was brand new in the box, all the pieces, brand new.
Why?
I never got on. I never did
Why?
nothing.
Why?
Fear. It was fear. I was scared. I was nervous.
What?
I
What
kept
were you?
talking myself out of it.
What were you scared of?
I was scared of failure. I was scared to fail. And it was never in my mind, oh, I want to pick up this craft so I can become a designer, to do this. It was always, I purchased it because I was like, I had just had my baby. He was 1 year old, not even 1 year old. I had just had him. He was some months old. I got laid off. No, I didn't get laid off. I got fired, which was a blessing, from a job that I was happy. It wasn't sad. I was very excited to transition. So I got fired from that job, and I was like, and then we're about to do something for you. So I took $337 that I received from my 401k with the Joanne Fabrics in Flint, Michigan, and I bought a sewing machine. And I was so proud of myself. Yo, I thought that was it. I was like, I got my sewing machine.
Yes.
I'm about to do this. I'm about to learn this craft for me, not for a business, but for me. I'm about to do something that Annette wanted to do. I sat on that thing for 4 years. I sat on it for 4 years.
So you got the sewing machine. You took money out of your 401k.
Yep.
300 and how much? How much was it?
$37. I got the receipt. I still got the
$337 from your 401k. All the money that you had in there to invest in a dream, only to sit back and not do anything.
Absolutely.
Because fear left you paralyzed.
I mean, paralyzed, honey.
So how did you manage to maneuver through the fear to start sewing that first thing? Do you remember the first thing you sewed on that?
Yes. It was a black dress. I got the fabric from Walmart here in Texas.
Okay.
We moved 2018. 4 years later, we moved to Dallas, Texas. We were brand new into our apartment. And we had a 700 square foot apartment. It was 4 of us in it. The dining room was the living room. So it wasn't, it was a small space. So the kitchen table was, I guess the dining room kitchen table was in the living room. And as soon as we moved in, I was like, my husband was like, where you want to put this? I was like, put it on the table. And I was determined to pick up and complete something that I was trying to do for myself. So I kept my sewing machine on the dining room / living room table in a 700 square foot apartment, and I refused to put it away. And he was so supportive. When it was time to eat, you just push it on down to the side of the wall, push it out your way. It stayed on that table because I knew if I put it away, that was an excuse for me to not do what I told myself I was going to do.
Right. So I am. It seemed as if I want to talk about this fear thing because you and I know we're pursuing this thing. We're pursuing this dream. Even this podcast, it was fearful.
Yeah.
And to be honest, and for those because I'm on Facebook Live as well, and I want to be 100% transparent. Although I have sat on my hands for a long time before I started doing this podcast earlier this year. I started a podcast during the pandemic, but I changed. I felt God shifting me into a different space. And so I really felt like that new and aspiring entrepreneurs don't have a voice. You're still working a 9 to 5, and I'm actually in that same position. I'm still working a 9 to 5, pursuing the dream and that sort of thing. So that's the main reason I feel like God has allowed me to create this platform to bring people like you on. Although we're family, but I'm not just going to bring anybody on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to bring anybody on because this podcast is not for everybody.
Right.
And I'm beginning to be very, very cautious as to who I bring on. Yeah. Because I want whoever I bring on to speak to those that are my targeted audience.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that this fear thing is a really, really big thing to deal with. And I'm doing Get Scared as we speak.
Listen, you hear me?
I'm doing Get Scared as we speak. People think I get on and I speak and things of that. No, I'm shaking in my boots. I don't have butterflies. I have pterodactyls in my stomach right now.
Come on, pterodactyls.
You know what I'm saying? But I have to, and I heard somebody say, courage is not the absence of fear.
Mm-hmm.
but it's you partnering with your fear along the way.
That's right.
Fear is never going to leave you.
Mm-mm.
Fear is never going to leave you. But you have to persevere. You have to keep pushing. You got to keep adding pressure, and you have to do it messy. You can't wait until it's perfect.
No, no,
Nothing is ever going to be
no,
perfect.
nope, nope, nope.
Nothing is ever going to be perfect. You have to do it scared, and you have to start messy.
Mm-mm.
So if you work in a 9 to 5, those of you that are working a 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
and you want to pursue that dream, I don't care if it's cooking, I don't care if it's
Yeah,
fashion, I don't care if you're trying to create online courses, I don't care if you're trying to create digital products. That's the era we're living in.
yeah.
You have to do it scared.
You got to
You
do it.
have to do it messy.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
got to
going to be
do it.
perfect.
You have to do it scared. One thing you have to get to a place where you are determined. First of all, a spiritual life is
Yes.
very important because you can't maneuver this thing by
No,
yourself
you can't.
on your own account. Your spiritual life is so important. But for me, when I was back in 2018, when I was like, and then we doing this, y'all, I was new on my job here in Dallas. I had that month. I had just started. I was new on my job, working a 9 to 5. I had little children. One of my children had just started school, y'all. He just started pre-K. My other baby was 3. He wasn't even in school. We had, on top of being married, we was in church ministry. We were very busy. But
Right.
I was determined that this is what I wanted to learn. At that point, it wasn't a business mindset. It was and then we about to do something that you wanted to do with the help of the Lord because you wanted to do it. This is a craft that I'm asking the Lord to give me and to allow me to, become somewhat of an expert in it. As for my level. So I was real busy. What I used to do is I would sew at night. I would sew at night on the weekends, Friday, Saturday at nights when my children were asleep and my husband were asleep. I would sew at night. And at that time, throughout that time, we were still in a 700 square foot apartment. Um, the kids would stay asleep. Sometimes they would wake up a little bit, put them back to sleep, and I finish
Yeah.
sewing. And I'd be sewing up until 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would be sewing. So I'm a church girl, y'all. I'm a
Yeah.
church girl. So I would
Hey.
be sewing for church. So
Yeah.
I would be up all night Saturday, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock, 3, 4 at the latest. At the
Right.
early, if I got to bed at 2 o'clock, I was like, yes, I got done early. But I would sew all night and wake up, go to sleep for a couple hours, and wake up and it's time for church. And I would wear whatever it was, however it looked. I was determined I was gonna rock it. The hem may have not been finished, the collar may have not been finished, but I would rock it anyway.
You wore it messy.
Would listen.
You wore it messy. And the thing
However,
about it,
baby, we
the thing
did.
about it, and I've been watching you, I've been spying on you on Facebook. You get so much love on your posts. You get so much love.
Yeah, I
Listen,
do.
y'all, Annette will take a shower curtain and turn that thing into an ensemble.
Have done it
She would
several
take a
times.
shower curtain. You hear me? A shower curtain
Absolutely.
and
I've
turn it
taken it
into a
down from
dress.
my bathroom.
I
Not
mean, convocation ready. Convocation ready. Convocation. And that's what I love. That's what I love because you're documenting your journey. And
yeah.
we talked about this. You're documenting your journey. You're doing it scared. You're starting messy. And you have your why. You have your why. Well, the reason why you're doing this. I heard somebody say your why stands for what's hurting you.
Mhm.
And they said, if your why, hear me clearly. If your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not big enough.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Because although this is not a church podcast, but I am church. I am a gospel
It is.
preacher. I am not ashamed to promote Jesus Christ as my Lord. But hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. The church has I believe they don't promote entrepreneurship like they should.
Mhm.
They don't promote. They don't promote it like they should,
Yeah,
because there's so many people in the church today that think that they have is spiritual gifts, but God gave you some natural gifts too.
that's right.
God gave you some natural gifts too.
That's
You
right.
got all of these gifts, all of these spiritual gifts.
Mm-hmm.
What about these natural gifts?
That's right.
Some of you are naturally gifted to speak. Some
Mm-hmm.
of you are naturally gifted to sew, like yourself. Some of you are naturally gifted in finances, financial literacy.
Yep.
You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? All of those gifts are not just primarily to be used in the church, but they should be used in the marketplace too.
That's right.
So we have to get all we have to stop sitting on our gifts and only use the gifts in the church. God has given all of us a certain measure of gifts. Now, some of you may consider yourself, you may be the jack of all trades, and that's wonderful. But there is one gift
Yeah.
that you can monetize.
Excel above the others.
Yep. And my pastor got on here and said, this fear is an asset to your humility, which
It
becomes
is.
fuel to your purpose and your ability. Yes, that is
Absolutely.
so true.
Absolutely.
And some of us get so paralyzed with our past and allowing our past to hinder our future. Because I believe you know when your future is ready for you once your past wants you back.
Come on.
Let me stop. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Where you
See,
want me to
because this
go?
is this is
You
so
preaching
good.
good. Where you want
This
me to go? That
this
fear?
is this is a conversation that needs to be had. You're
Absolutely.
pursuing all of this and that, and you have all of these
Still scared.
responsibilities around you.
And still scared. To piggyback on that fear thing, I'm maneuvering while still scared. I was maneuvering while still scared, but you have to learn how. That's why that spirit. And I know this, y'all. I know this is not the Jesus broadcast, but because of the position that the Lord is in my life, I cannot tell my testimony and exclude Him from it.
Yes.
So the way that I have maneuvered, and I'm learning, and it's a process. The way that I'm learning to maneuver with the fear thing is not allowing the fear to override the vision that God has given me. Listen. You got to know the Bible, and you got to keep quoting the Bible to yourself
Yeah.
while you on this journey. You
Exactly.
got not only do you need to read it, you got to live that thing and put it in your heart. I've been in church my whole life, but baby, it's application time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's application time. That fear, I had to learn how to say we moving with fear. Yeah, I'm scared, but we about to do this scared. We about to sew
Exactly.
this dress scared. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but we about to do this scared. I in my earlier time, well, when I first started, I didn't start, I read up, thank God for internet and all of this social media that we have, because it
Right.
makes stuff easier. So I will go and look at videos on YouTube. I would look, it was just, I was a different individual. Some people say, oh, it's easier to start with patterns, do this.
Hmm.
That wasn't the easiest thing for me. So I would get pieces of clothing and I would say, okay, I'm gonna use this dress and I'm gonna cut it in, and we gonna make the same dress in a different pattern. I'm gonna use this t-shirt to make this jacket. Like I didn't utilize the traditional patterns. If I did buy a pattern, because y'all remember, I don't have the education. I did not go to school for this.
Hold on. Yeah, I hate to cut you off, but
Oh,
I want people to hear this, because most people think you have to go the traditional route in order to do a certain thing.
mhm.
You went through so many different occupations, so many different
Getting fired,
fields,
getting fired.
getting fired,
Yes, sir.
getting fired, and you don't have a degree.
Oh no, sir, I do not.
You don't have a degree at all.
Oh, let me listen. Thank you for saying this. Let me tell you something, because this is going to curse somebody. I want you to know now. early in the broadcast, I start off by saying that I am newly transitioned. I'm very careful. When the Lord gave me instructions on how to transition, he gave me instructions on even how to verbalize it when the time comes to verbalize it. I never said I was quitting. The Lord said transition. So I'm very
Mhm.
careful. I don't say I quit my job. I did not quit my job. I transitioned from my normal 9 to 5.
Wow.
So for those of you who this is something that you are looking into doing, you're in the process of doing this, don't say that. We're not quitters. I didn't quit anything. I was obedient to the Lord. I transitioned from my 9 to 5 into full-time entrepreneurship. Now, with saying that, I want this to be known too. I had the favor of the Lord on my job. I work for the
Mm.
Department of Defense here in Dallas, Texas. I had the favor of, I was in a position, I was in a managerial position.
So let me let me
They were supposed to have degrees. I have this many degrees. I was certified this many times in what I was doing.
so you
They
didn't
were
have
looking to create a new position for me because they saw the talents that I had. They were trying to create. I had departments wanting, I was in demand. I was in demand. So I didn't transition in a bad position with my job. I wasn't on the verge of being fired. No, baby. I had the favor of the Lord. I had favor with my direct manager. I had the favor. When I put, what happened was, I'm gonna tell you short what happened, because I have to tell this because it's gonna bless somebody. The Lord spoke to me. Like I said, this was not something, I did not learn this craft or try to perfect the craft for a business aspect. It was about 16 months ago where I was like, I think I could do this. God, what you saying? So you know how you hear the Lord, but then you start telling yourself instead of listening to the Lord, say, Lord, how do you want me to go about this? I heard the Lord say business, but I told the Lord how I was going to do it. I was like, okay, what we going to do is, and I told my husband at that time, I said by 2020, next year, 2024, January, I want to transition off my job, blah, 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 blah. And it never set in my spirit. That's what I was saying. I didn't say the Lord said. That's what I had in my mind, because I'm like, I'm a very calculated individual. I'm gonna plan out this strategic. I'm gonna plan it out. So that was my plan in my head. I never said it was the Lord, because it was not the Lord. The
it was
beginning.
you.
It was me. The Lord said business, but the Lord did not tell me when and how to go about doing it.
Talk us through that. Talk us through that. How did you handle that? The Lord told you business,
Yes, I heard business. I
but
could
he didn't tell you how.
No, he did not tell me
So
how.
you
He
so
did
you
not
include
tell me the time frame.
so you did like an Abraham or Sarai.
Yeah, baby, I put that timeline on there. I was like, okay, God, you said business. So what I'm gonna, because I'm a strategic person. In my mind, I was like, it makes sense for me to go do it by January 2024, because the way this stuff calculated, I can work this out over here and put this money over there, and I can pay this up over here. Like, that was me. The Lord said something, but I added Annette on to the vision. But that's okay, because the Lord fixed me. He fixed me. He fixed me. In January of this year, it was, now I had already heard business. I had already heard business back in 22. And 23, the Lord, it was on me. I'm like, okay, so I got to do this. And I was like, I heard the Lord said July. And I was like, I don't think I could do that in July. I'm like, I'm still in my mind. I'm like, January 2024 is a better timeline for me. That works better for me, Logan. That makes more
Mhm.
sense for me to maneuver my stuff around.
Right.
And I just kept hearing July. And I kept putting it off. But the Lord, he sent the fleece. He kept sending individuals that I did not have a relationship with. They knew nothing about what I had going on. There was nobody. It wasn't no somebody was in that ear. No, it was the Lord sent that individual with the prophecy of confirmation of the timeline. They came to me, they said, hey, listen, the Lord said you need to get up off that job. And I was like, it blew my mind. And he spoke some other things in my, he spoke of a conversation that I had with my father. And there's no way for this man to know that. And that's
No.
like, I was like, Lord, this is you. So I'm like, that is amazing, Lord. That is amazing. I was encouraged for a couple weeks. Then I got back discouraged, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't think I could do it. I don't think
Why do you think that happened? You was encouraged, but
I
then you got discouraged.
yeah, because I kept looking at it from the natural eye.
But
I
he
looked
told
at
you
it.
to go though.
He told me to go, but the natural eye was like, that don't make sense. Let me tell you, my natural the natural side told me that it does not make sense to leave a job that you, one, have favor on, that you, two, is it's paying the bills, it's working. Why mess up something that's working? And not only is it working, not only do you have favor on it, but you're being promoted every time you turn around. There's no reason to leave. Why would you leave? It has a 401k. It has health benefits. And then you ain't got a degree. What are you doing? So that
Why do
natural
we
side.
now let put a pin in that, because I don't want nobody to think a job is a bad thing.
Right.
Job is and the Lord had to deal with me with this, and I consider him a mentor from afar. But he was my first interviewee, and he said, his name is Storm Leroy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my guy, Storm Leroy. He said, your job is your first business partner.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't disregard or hate the thing that's feeding you at that time.
Mm-mm.
Although the environment of the job can cause you to hate going to work every single day.
Right.
Trust me, I'm in that place right now. Sometimes I don't feel like going to work.
The hate comes into place because you're frustrated, because
You're frustrated.
you're not living out the vision that God gave you. You're not
Exactly.
fulfilling that you have a dream and a passion, not just a dream, but you got that passion in you to do
Exactly.
something else, and you feel like that 9 to 5.
It's just holding you hostage.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's really not. It's preparing you for when you're able to make that transition.
Right.
It's
Right.
really preparation. Working in the corporate world help mold my company, Seven Pleats Clothing Company. It helped mold me to be able to go in and out of realms and speak to people of different calibers. Let me tell you how. Now, I told you I was encouraged, then I got discouraged because I started looking at it from the natural eye. I just kept getting fleeces. Little God kept sending things and people. Back in April, my job, this was very random. I had been there for 4 years, very random, sent an email out asking and requesting individuals to voluntarily give up positions and leave the company. Volunteer resignations. They were asked for volunteer. I was like, okay, God, you listen. I was like, this is crazy. I waited, y'all. I waited up until the very last day that you could put your that you could put
Right.
your request in. I waited to the very last day, y'all. I was nervous, but I knew it was something that I had to do. So I put my request in that very last day, y'all.
Hmm.
Before I left, let me tell you something. Yes, I was a manager within it, but we have a lot of people that worked for that company, for the corporation. It was in August. I was about to leave. I was able to meet with one of the VPs over our Department of Defense, over that whatever. A VP, that's big in the corporate world. And he
Hmm.
told me, y'all, listen, this man told me when he saw my name on the list of individuals who were voluntarily leaving the company, he said he called my direct manager and he said, This is this our Annette? This isn't our Annette, is it? And that blew my mind because the Lord had given me so much favor on that job. He recognized
Right.
me from a name on the paper. He
Wow.
knew me. It was that the Lord had.
He'll make your name.
Let me tell you, he put my name in the room. You hear me? He put my name in
Bring
the
your name before kings.
honey. Go ahead. He ain't finished yet. He ain't listen. This on the beginning. He not finished yet, but you hear people testify about it. But to live that, it's just amazing. I met with that individual for a short period of time, and he was just He was in the basement. He was like, "Go! I can't wait till I see you on Vogue. When I see when I see you on Vogue, I'm gonna be able to say I know her." It
Right,
was
right.
so encouraging. My direct manager, same thing. But the Lord, listen, what the Bible says is true, honey. If you live the life and you believe in it, believe. Was I fearful? Yeah, I'm fearful. But you know what? I'm more afraid not to do it than to do it. I have more faith, more fear to not be obedient, to sit back. Okay, God, I hear you. It's the voice of the Lord. No doubt. Is it crazy? Naturally, it is, but it's okay because I've been crazy before. That's fine. I've done some things that is not of the normal perspective, the right thing to do. And that sits fine with me because I know at least this time is the Lord. I
This
have
time,
comfort because at least this time
this
I know
time,
it's God. This is God. This time is God.
this time
That's a
is the
message for
Lord.
somebody. This time
This
is God.
time,
And that
this
makes
time.
all the difference.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And how long were you at this job in
I was
Dallas?
almost 5 years. Almost, I was 1 month of being 5 years. My very last day was August 31st of this year. July 17th would have made 5 years. So I was a couple of weeks short of 5 years.
So you just quit your job a couple months ago.
Yes, sir. And let me tell you this. Listen, just short. The money, I didn't quit for the money. I quit for obedience to the Lord and to fulfill the vision. So I did not quit for money. But the package that they were giving, the calculations, you know how you do the calculation to hit. I'm telling y'all, when it comes
Right.
to money and finance, baby, I be trying to figure it out. So
Right.
from what the information that they were providing and the calculations, I'm like, okay, I'm only going to receive this, but I don't care. It's not about the money. It's about my obedience to the Lord. Y'all, it was 5 times the amount that I thought that I was going to get. 5 times. It was the money times 5. I was like, look, I said, God, God, you just keep over and over. The HR guy was like, "Is that okay with you?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Send the work over." But listen, but if it was a mistake, listen, it's too late. Send it over. Let me sign it. Come on.
What would you credit this shift, this move of God in your life to? What would you credit it to? Would you credit it to um and I'm getting a little spiritual here. So if it goes above some of your heads, please ride with me.
My testimony is spiritual, so you got to go there.
Yes, yes, yes. Would you credit this move of God, this shift of God to probably tithing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tithing, giving of your seed, giving of your fruits.
Of yourself, of yourself financially and physically. All of that, being obedient. My obedience and my walk with Christ did not start when I picked up the sewing machine. I believe that this season of my life, let me tell you, so after I came, this is a whole trend. This time in my life is a whole transition that I did not realize played a part in different aspects of my life. So a couple of
Mhm.
months, like 2 months ago, because it's been almost 4 months, about 2 months ago, when I was fresh from leaving the job or transition off of there, like my past kept kind of stuff that I thought I buried, stuff that I thought that I overcame, stuff that emotionally kind of takes me to a place that I thought that I was healed and delivered from. It came up.
Mm.
It just come up. But it came up not in a negative light. It brought emotions. It brought up things that did I did I think I had those things settled? Absolutely. But it was necessary conversations with necessary people that came up, and the Lord gave me peace about it. He said, "Think it not strange. I am not bringing these things to you to get you to revert mentally back to the place that you were when you were hurt. But I'm bringing these things to the forefront to show you why. Hey, thank you, Lord, to show you why I'm opening up this season for you."
Mm.
So
Mm.
listen, y'all, don't
Mm.
don't get upset that when the past, listen. Sometimes the past comes up not to take you back, baby, but that's why you have to have a relationship with the Lord to recognize this is not for me to revert back, but this bringing up those emotions, because sometimes, especially when you bury things and you forget about things and you get over things, you forget about those raw emotions, and those raw emotions is what your testimony is about. That's why I can connect to that individual on the other side of this podcast. That's why I can connect to the other entrepreneur who is thinking about going through this, who are in the process of going through this, who's discouraged but encouraged all at the same time. You fearful but you're paralyzed. I can connect to you because of my emotions. And when I thought that I was over or healed from those times, I took those emotions and threw them back. I threw back that hurt that I felt at that time. So bring it coming up wasn't negative. I knew how to place it. I knew how to place it. The Lord
So
gave
you turn your negative into a positive.
absolutely.
You turn your pain into your purpose.
Absolutely.
And now you're getting paid for your pain.
Come on.
You're getting paid for your pain. So hear me clearly, y'all. There is a way that you can turn your pain into a business.
Absolutely.
If you have a book, or you've been wanting to write a book, and it's a book full of pain, you unraveling the things that you've been through in your life, you can easily turn that into a business. You can turn that into a digital course, because nowadays people are not just going to buy books.
Right.
But if you add an offer to it where you can turn that book into an online course, now people have a physical product, physical digital product that they can take in tandem with the book. Yeah. And maybe you can turn that book into a workbook. Now they have a course, yeah, and a workbook so they can get through your actual book.
That's right. You have a better understanding of what yeah, it's not just a reading. It's not just a tool that you're picking up for that time. Yeah. But now you're going to know how to apply what you are taking in, yeah, to your everyday life, how to apply it to different aspects of your life.
That's good. That's good. So let's take it a little further real quick. Are you currently making money in your business? Are you in the process of making money in your business? Because I know you just quit your job.
Okay. Yep.
I know you just quit your job. You may not be making six figures, $1 million. Let's be honest. But you're in pursuit of that.
Yes.
You're in pursuit of that. Let's talk about that.
My current business status is I'm in the process of completing my business plan, and I'm going to present that to I do have an investor, to a person that is looking to invest with me, but also I'm looking to present that to the bank, because baby, I need some money, because God has given me a big vision, and that means that there's a big door that needs to be opened that he's going to do. So I'm completing the business plan so that I can position myself to present that to the funding aspect of my business.
Do you have an LLC?
I do have an LLC. I started my LLC at the beginning of this year. So okay. I do have an LLC. It is Seven Pleats Clothing Company is my LLC. And what we are is a custom designed fashion line. Now there is a difference. I say custom designed because I am the designer behind it, behind the ideas. They're fresh, innovative, practical, edgy designs, but they're going to come to you at an aspect to where you can purchase those in larger quantities. If you are a boutique, you can purchase that online. It's not okay, I'm coming to her, can you make me this item? That aspect of the company is coming, but I think that we are lacking that entrepreneurship to where the manufacturing. Yeah. If you say, and then I need 50 of those dresses, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get 50 of them dresses, and you ain't going to have to wait 50 weeks to get it. If your choir needs to be dressed and you need these dresses with my company, we're going to be able to say, go online, make your order, and we're going to get that out to you in a couple of weeks, because it's a manufacturer side of it. It's not a
Right.
one-man show. It's not me designing it, sewing it, doing all that. I'm the designer behind it, and I'm going to make sure that the quality is up to par to have my name on it and to have 7 pleats on it as well. So we are a custom design manufactured clothing company.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. 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 So you got it all together, man. Is there anything else that we need to know about? Because you're still in your beginning stages, you're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
trying to wiggle it out. What
Mhm.
would you say to that person that that's trying to figure it out? They're working a 9 to 5. They want to transition.
You have to write the vision down first, so you know you have something to go back to. You have to write slash. I'm an individual. I think I'm now. Listen, y'all, don't judge me. I am a self-diagnosed autistic person. I'm self-diagnosed. I'm not medically diagnosed, but I'm an individual. I learn differently. I process things differently. So for some people, you know, when you say it says write the vision, but for some people, you lose it when you say write it. Okay, I'm not a writer. I don't got time for that. But that's okay, because that's why we have technology. Record it. Record. You can do a physical video, do a voice recording, outlining the vision that you have for your company,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of it, how is it going to run, what is going to happen. You have to get that down somewhere, because when you get discouraged, you got to have something to go back to. You have to have something to go back to. So write it, record it, voice record it. The vision. What is the vision? Go back to that in the times of discouragement, and the times, because sometimes you do go through a process where you may feel a little lost or paralyzed.
Right. Right.
How do I move through that? You move through that by, number one, podcasts like this.
Mm-hmm.
You watch this podcast because you're presenting individuals with tools, with systems and new technologies that are out there to help them with things such as business plans. You got AI tools that will assist you now with creating the business plan. This paralyzed you. You can't get through what you're doing because you're scared to do the business plan. There are AI tools that can help you. And if you watch this podcast, you can learn about those. So make sure you keep the right people in your corner. Make sure that you write the vision, make it plain, outline it. Number 3, protect your vision. Protect your vision. And protecting your vision may look differently, but one aspect that I refer to when I say protect your vision is to not socially and social media wise, and not verbally talk about it or discuss it with everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody will
that's
not
right.
understand. Everybody will not agree. Everybody will not see, but that's why it is your vision.
Your vision.
So those are my 3 things that I'm gonna give you now. So I won't keep going, because I can go on and on, but that's what I got now.
That's it. That's it. Listen, this whole podcast is for legacy.
Yes. And we are living and leaving a legacy.
Talk about that. Talk about that. How are you planning to leave a legacy with this dream?
You know, I through this process and this journey, I told my husband, if the Lord takes me today, I want it to be said, and I believe that it can be said pure and true heartedly, that Annette went after, pursued nonstop the vision that God gave her. These are not just what I want to do, but these are God-given dreams and visions. I did not allow people nor myself stop me from doing it. Because like we keep saying, you and Annette can talk Annette out of something, but what's keeping me on track is my spiritual life with the Lord. I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing it just for my children, just for my husband. I'm doing it, number one, out of obedience to the Lord, so that my seeds can be blessed, so that my family can be blessed, so that the things that I had to worry about, they don't have to worry about. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about school and college and limitations and everything. No, baby, wherever you want to go, you going. You don't have to worry about the money, because God is setting this thing up to where that is not even something that you got to worry about. This legacy is going to reach beyond the Eads family. This legacy will reach other households, other
Mm.
people. It's going to bring people to Christ through fashion. It's crazy, I know, but I've been crazy before. And this won't be the last time I've been crazy. But this little dream and vision is bigger than me and my household and my name. It's bigger than a Latchison-Eads family, honey. This thing is going to reach, it's going to reach platforms and plateaus, and ministry is even in fashion, honey. And I'm going to show you it's okay. God is doing it, honey. And when you look at me, I want my legacy to look like grace and favor. My name means grace, and that means grace. I want my legacy to look like what the meaning of my name is: grace and favor, because that's what's getting me through this whole transition.
Ooh, you just gave us a fire. You just gave us a fire. Oh my goodness. Now, what do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years with this?
I see, honestly, and okay, so don't take this the wrong way.
I
And
won't. I won't.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
I
take
don't
it the right way.
I don't want it to be taken as thinking too highly of myself. First of all, this is the vision that God gave me. And God does not give low visions; He gives high visions. And what God is with the move and things, because God. I'm in transition, y'all. So it's a lot of stuff that is still in transition with the business plan. But God is moving fast. He's moving fast. In the next natural 5 years, the Lord is going to allow things to happen that would normally take individuals 10 and 20 years to complete. I believe that I will have open door opportunities that, one, makes no sense, but two, takes years, if any, to get. I believe that I will be able to minister, reach, and help people that have been in my position, not this just looking to go into fashion and all of that. No, not just in the realm that I'm working in, but in the whole picture of what God is doing. I'm gonna be able to help those who have dreams and are stumped and paralyzed and unable to complete those. This
Mm.
is just the start of a whole lot of I see it as a battery with different wires going. This is just the battery of it. This is just what's housing everything that's about to branch out. Yeah, we got fashion over here. We got entrepreneurship over there. But we got a whole bunch of other things that's branching out. This is just the catalyst. So this is just the beginning. I'm believing God for big things because God doesn't do anything little, and I don't receive anything little. Listen, nothing has been little. Transitioning off your 9-to-5 job, whoever told you, is not little. And I'm pretty sure if you've talked to the wrong person, they say, "Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you." Because me, the way that I was raised is like a lot of people were raised. It's like generations have been raised. You get you a good job, they got a 401k and got some good insurance, and you work that job for 25, 30 years until you're able to
Retire with
retire
nothing.
off of it, and then you live the rest of your life and be happy and grateful to God. That is fine. That is fine if that is if that's your path, but that's not
Right.
my path.
That's not my path.
No, sir.
That's not my path. My path is not your path.
No, sir. I have a customized path, and I know that it's unusual to other people, but it's okay. God is working it. What makes it unusual is the fact that God is in the middle of it all. There's no one who can
Exactly.
take the credit. No one can take the credit for it. I can't lean back and say, "Oh, my degrees have allowed me to go through this door." There are no degrees. The degree is the Lord, honey. The degree is my
Exactly.
favor. The degree, and that is what my testimony is about. Believe in God first, and then believe in the visions that God has given you. And you don't
Exactly.
have to worry about, "Oh, it don't make sense." Who cares if it makes sense? I'm not trying to make sense to people.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're talking about degrees. A high school. Let me take it. Let me take it further. A PhD or a doctoral degree is almost equivalent to a master's degree, and a
Right.
master's
Yeah,
degree nowadays is equivalent to a bachelor's degree, and a
absolutely.
bachelor's degree is
Oh,
equivalent to a high
high
school
school. I
diploma.
believe it. Mhm.
I mean, you have a lot of PhDs and doctorates that are unemployed.
Yeah.
So it's not, I'm not saying that school, you shouldn't go to school. I mean, go to school. But my thing, and I'm not saying everybody should become an entrepreneur. That's a trendy word right now in today's
Yes.
society. But my thing is this: if you're gonna go to school for something, let it be something
Passion.
that you're passionate about, and you may be able to just start a side hustle in addition to your job,
Have
because
multiple
nowadays
streams
you
going.
can't live off of one paycheck.
Sure
You
can.
got to have some type of side hustle, some type of side gig.
Yep.
There's so many things out there that you can do on the side. I'm not saying quit your job. You'll know when you're profitably ready to leave your job.
Hmm.
You would know.
Yeah.
And you'll know, you'll have this gut feeling. You have this God-given discernment. We use the word discernment in the church. You will
I
have
do.
discernment to know when to leave your job
Yeah.
when you're profitably ready to do so. So still continue to work the job,
Hmm.
and change your mindset to the degree where your job is paying you to fund your dream instead of you going to work for a paycheck.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I it, today, I mean, if it's not now, then when? You have the great opportunity in these United States of America to pursue your dream, to pursue your passion. It's not going to be easy.
Mm-mm.
It's not going to be easy,
Mm.
but you have to do it hard. You have to do it messy, and you have to do it afraid. You have to do it. You have to do it. And Annette Latchison-Eads is proof that you can do it scared, you can do it while it's hard, and you
Mhm.
can start messy. She
Yep.
just quit her job in August.
Transition.
Transition.
Transition
Transition. She just transitioned
and
from her job
obedience. Hmm. Hmm.
in obedience to what God has given her
Yeah. Yes, sir.
and to where God has given her. And so I am elated. I am honored to have Annette on this podcast to speak into your life and to share the things that she's currently documenting, that she's currently going through, she's currently dealing with. She doesn't have it all together yet, but it's coming together. It's coming
My
together.
story is still unfolding.
Yeah, she's still in her beginning stages. And a lot of people like to have tangibles. Well, how much money is she making? Does that even matter?
Listen, unfolding means you ain't got the finances.
You ain't got
You
it yet.
it's
You
not there yet, but
but
my faith is there. So
yeah,
I have
yeah,
the first step is
yeah.
to have the faith.
Your
Faith
faith, yeah.
is
A
the
lot of people
substance of
say,
things
yeah,
hoped for,
yeah.
the evidence of things not seen. I can't see the finances, the financial fruit of it yet, but guess what? I'm not lacking for nothing, y'all. I'm
No,
not lacking.
she's still, and she eating.
I'm still eating, y'all.
She's eating, y'all.
I can still go to the fabric store and buy my fabric.
She's eating.
My
She's
mortgage
still
being paid.
eating.
And I say that to say the Lord is providing and taking care of my needs and wants, not just my needs, but He's providing. He has made a way. I told y'all, listen to the podcast.
Right,
The Lord allowed me through 5 times the amount that I thought I was getting off of my job.
right, right.
So you have
It's
to be a stewardess, a good
right,
steward over what the Lord has provided for you. He's provided the the financials to sustain me in order for the vision to come to pass, y'all.
right. And we don't have enough time to really dig into this phase of the conversation, but this could be a conversation
Sure.
just all by itself. The
Absolutely.
simple fact that she's transitioned from her job, so she's working from home.
Mhm.
She's working on her dream at home, but her husband is the breadwinner.
Mhm.
He's the one working full time, burning the midnight oil, making sure that she is being provided for.
That's right.
That's a conversation in itself. In
Yeah.
itself, that's a marital dynamic that could cause friction. That's a
Right.
conversation we don't have time to dig into it right now.
Mhm.
But I just want to shout out to her husband, Cameron Delon Eads, for being the breadwinner,
Mhm.
just providing for the family while his wife is on her dream,
That's right.
working on her dream,
That's right.
working on her dream. And I think even Tabitha Brown,
Yes, 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 yes.
same
Yeah.
situation. And a lot of people were giving her flack, giving her husband flack. Y'all
Listen,
better watch it. Y'all better watch
listen,
it.
listen.
And all throughout the pandemic, you see this lady with this big fro and she has a way of
Talking
talking to you.
and
And
relating,
now she has seasonings that I've used, my wife has used,
clothing. She got
clothing. She's in Target. The season is
a
in
children's show.
all of your grocery stores.
She has a children's show.
She
Yeah.
has a children's show. She has all of these, been on all these talk shows and things of
Mhm.
that nature. God is making her name great. But some of y'all talked about her.
Y'all did. I didn't. They sure did.
Some of y'all, not us, but some of y'all wasn't too pleasant. But look at where she is now. Look at God blessing her now.
Mhm.
And that is an indicator of what's going to happen in the Eads family.
I believe it. Yes, sir.
That's an indicator. Listen, I hate to cut this short. I hate to cut this short, but we're gonna come back again.
I'm about to say the people look. Let the
It's gonna
people
be
speak.
better.
If
It's
they
gonna be
want us,
it's
if
gonna
they
it's
want
gonna
me again, I'll come back.
it, it's gonna be even better in the future.
What you say? Come
It's gonna
on.
be even better in the future. Listen, if you like today's podcast, listen, leave a comment below. Consider subscribing to this channel where we're going to be able to pump out more content such as this, and bring on more guests such as this that have this dream, and you're trying to transition and monetize that dream. You're working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to transition into your dream and monetize that thing. Listen, we're going to do more episodes like this. And listen, consider subscribing, like I just said, and consider leaving a comment below. Listen, I can't listen. This is amazing.
Listen, if
This
you
is
never left a
amazing.
comment, leave a comment. We want to know what you feel about this
Exactly.
podcast
We
today.
need to know. And listen, go follow Annette Latchison-Eads. Let the people know where they can find you.
Listen, so I'm not. You caught me off guard. I should have been ready because I'm not social media. I'm not like social media savvy like that. But you can find me on Facebook at Annette Latchison-Eads, and I'm going to my Instagram. I am on Instagram, Annette_Latchison_Eads. We will find a way to tag it and make sure we put it on this broadcast so you can
Yeah, we're gonna put it all on the. We're gonna put it in the show notes below. We're gonna put it in the
yes, we're
show
gonna
notes.
put it down there so you can follow the journey. And
Yes.
then once everything is ready, you can go ahead and support and look and buy the line. But follow the journey. Continue. It's to be continued, y'all.
Listen, that's it. Is there anything else? Listen,
We
is
ain't got
there
no
what?
time for nothing else.
Yeah, we don't
Listen,
have.
I got a lot.
Yeah. What is one thing you want to leave with the people? Just one thing. I gotta add this on there. What is one thing you want to leave with the people before we end this broadcast?
Pursue nonstop. Pursue nonstop at all costs. At all costs. And trust. That's what you have to have you have to have a higher calling. You have to have for me, you have to have a relationship with the Lord. My relationship is the security of that what I'm doing it's going to work because the Lord told me to do it. I'm being obedient to the Lord. The Lord's word don't come back void. The Lord has given me, he's provided me the vision and the means of the vision. It's going to come to pass. Know what the vision is, stand on the vision, be obedient, and go. Go in fear. Go. Action. Put action behind it. Anytime you feel discouraged, look up whatever works for you. If it's TD Jakes, all of this stuff, look, but watch this podcast because this podcast is designed for individuals like us. You're going to have moments of paralyzation and you're like, where do I go from here? Watch the podcast. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody on here that's going to be able to give you those tools to, okay, next step, this is what I'm doing. I feel encouraged now. And not only the podcast, you can reach out to Randy personally. Reach out to him personally and say, this is where I am, because you're not always able to verbalize and have the conversation with individuals, but you got somebody up here who has provided the platform for you. So podcast, reach out to Randy personally. It's time, it's go time, and pursue it nonstop. At all costs, honey.
That is the bow on top of this present. Listen, this podcast has been wonderful. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast, where I'm your host, Randy. I see you on the next episode. Grace and peace.
Bye-bye.